3 sets, different movements. Your first movement is going to be a Cossack squat. So feet are planted in your wide stance. Goblet position with your dumbbell if you need weight. Coming down to one side, trying to really get that knee pointing over your toe as you squat down. Obviously, range of motion is going to be massively dependent on your flexibility. So make sure chest is always up. Don't force yourself lower at either end by dropping your chest forward. You're going to do 10 reps, which will be 5 either way. Make sure they're slow and controlled. Second movement is going to be curtsy squat. It's going to look similar to a step back lunge, but the important variation here is Jack stepping back behind his foot so that your knee stays over your toe and the other foot steps back behind. As you can see, it's really going to test out your hips and your glutes and also obviously load up that quad. You're going to do 10 reps of that alternating, so it's 5 on each. Last one is going to be your cyclist squat or your heel elevated squat. What we're looking is narrow stance, as upright as possible, goblet into your chest. Use something to elevate your heels and I'm sure you can find something if you've obviously not got a plate, maybe books, anything, a little step, a little ledge to pop your heels on. If you haven't got anything, it should just be a narrow squat. Most important thing is you're as upright as possible. Let your knees go forward so you're loading up the quads. You have split squats, front rack, your dumbbell. Same leg as you front rack should step back. From there, obviously, the knee softly touches the floor. That front rack should really force you to keep nice and upright. You're going to do 10 to 20 reps, and then you're going to have a minute's rest and swap over and repeat on the other leg. You'll do 3 total sets of that, so obviously it'll be 6 in total by the time you've done either leg. You should be shooting for 20 each time. The minimum should be 10. Make sure it's nice and controlled. Obviously the weight of your dumbbell is going to vary a little bit how many reps you do. 3 sets, your first movement is going to be a single leg hip thrust or glute bridge. Foot is going to be on a sofa or raised up onto a chair, obviously something that's really stable, so as you push away it's not going to slide. How close you have your bum to the bench is going to differ a little bit what muscle you're hitting. If you're closer to the bench, you might feel it a little bit more in your glute or quad. The further you are away, so the straighter this leg is, you might feel it a little bit more in your hamstring. So you can play around with that and see what's comfortable for you. So once you have done all of your 10 reps for the hip thrust on one leg, same leg, you're now doing a split stance RDL. So that foot is in front, little bend in the knee. Back foot wants to be on your toe, so you're very lightly resting on this foot. It should be 90% of the weight or more should be on that front foot. From there, Jack needs to bend the knee, keep the hips where they are, and he's hinging over. So this is really flat, and he's only going down as low as he can, keeping a flat back. So all the weight should be on that front leg. You should feel it hamstring and glute. As you lower down to where you're comfortable, come back up. He's going to do 10 reps, and then he will do the 10 and 10 on the other leg. So 10 hip thrusts, 10 RDLs. You're doing 3 total sets of that with a little rest in between. So your core bit is 4 sets. You start with a dumbbell pressed over your chest, flutter kicks. You're going to do 20 seconds. As Jack's doing now, make sure you're crunching, sticking your lower back into the floor, so you're engaging all the time, reaching up to the sky with the dumbbell, alternating your feet for 20 seconds. Obviously you can go slow, fast, whatever you prefer. Side plank pulses. So what Jack's doing now is trying to touch one hip to the floor or as close as he can, and then its other hip is coming up to the ceiling. So it's basically going back and forth using your obliques to lower down to the floor, press back up. He's going to do 10 of those pulses, straight into a 10-second side plank. He'll then swap over to the other side, do 10 pulses on the other side, 10-second side plank. You have 4 total sets, rest as needed between them. Keep it reasonably short, maybe a minute to 2 minutes should be plenty of rest in between. Good luck.